us tonight to celebrate these wonderful and hardworking students. What a crazy year it has been, working back towards what we have been calling normal school. We say that all the time. We have a lot of unpredictable circumstances. Through all of this, you have maintained focus and have strived to excel. It would have been easy to let your grades slip. It would have been easy to be distracted. But you all have overcome these obstacles. Whether you are celebrating a great year as an ambassador or just beginning your Bragg ambassador journey, you have stood out in the areas of academics and character, and we are very proud of you. This evening, I would like to talk to you for a few minutes about a special word to me, and that word is integrity. Integrity is choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them. And this is a quote by Miss Brene Brown. Miss Brown is a researcher, author, professor, public speaker, and podcast host that has devoted her life to studying leadership and the wholesome characteristics of people. For the next few minutes, I want to focus deeper on what Miss Brown said about integrity. First, choosing courage over comfort. What does this even mean? I think that this could mean a few things. This could be as simple as stepping out of your comfort zone. Maybe being an ambassador is going to help you learn how to better communicate with others. Maybe leading in this way will push you not to be nervous to speak in front of others. Or maybe this means standing out, or maybe standing up to your peers when it means choosing the unpopular path. It can be hard to do what is right when you feel like you're the only one doing it. This leads me to the next point that she makes. Choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy. Normally the right choice is definitely not going to be the easiest, fastest, or the most fun. If it was, more people would do right. It might be easier and quicker to copy someone's work so that you can get to your favorite online game, but it doesn't make it right. Working hard will always have the greater benefit. Lastly, she mentions choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them. This boils down to talk is cheap. It's not enough to say all the right things. Your actions need to follow through. Do not use empty words to impress others, but instead wow them with your character. Integrity means still being that great person, even when no one else is watching. So why am I telling you all this? Over the next year, we hope to see you be a shining light to our school. We hope to see you stand out among your peers. We hope to hear good things that you are doing in your classes and people who you are helping. As teachers, of course, we want you to become more knowledgeable about our content areas. But more importantly, we want you to become good people. People who continually strive to grow and improve. People who volunteer to help others simply because it brings you joy. People who don't just say the right things, but do the right things. We are very proud of the good things that we have heard and seen you do so far, and we are very excited to continue to see you grow and serve others. Now I will hand it over to Mr. Robertson for a few words and an introduction of our guest speaker.
Thank you. Good evening. We'd like to welcome you all here. I appreciate Gardendale High School letting us use their auditorium to have this special event. And this is a special event in my mind. And Ms. Griffin said just a moment ago that in the last couple of years, it's been tough. It's been tough on students. It's been tough on parents. It's been tough on teachers. And it's been tough on me, I'll be honest with you. It's been tough on all of us. And through all of that, the cream has risen to the top, and we appreciate the hard work. Oftentimes, I deal with a lot of the negative aspects, whether someone's getting in trouble or whether trying to prevent something from happening or dealing with something like along that lines. But every month, I have the pleasure of calling in our Students of the Month, and I always commend them because middle school, and I say this with love, and I say this all the time, and some of you have heard me say this, middle school is a crazy age. Your girls are mean and your boys don't use their brains. That's middle school in a nutshell. But I say that with love. And then as we grow up, sometimes the girls are still mean and the boys don't use their brains, but maybe a little less so. But I tell you, I wouldn't want to be anywhere other than where I am working with who I'm working with. And I appreciate these kids because in spite of all the drama of who likes who and who doesn't like who anymore, and despite of who doesn't like my shoes, and despite of this or that, we come to school, we do what we're supposed to, and we do more than what's expected of us. And what this started out when I first came to Bragg 7 years ago, it was called the Honor Club, and it's kind of evolved into this. And parents, students, you are to be commended for your hard work. But after that, commending, there's a saying sometimes that I'll use, so what, now what? Okay, you've worked hard, now what? What are we going to do with that? Where are we going to go with that? What are we going to make? I believe to whom much is given, much shall be required. I used to read Spider-Man comics growing up, and there was a big phrase in there that said, with great power comes great responsibility. And so, with the hard work that you've done, the knowledge that you've obtained, the character that you've shown, we expect great things from you. And I want to make sure that you understand the support system that you have in place. Be appreciative of your parents. Tell them thank you for making you study, or making you do your homework, or making sure you're going to bed at the right time and getting up on time. Some kids don't have that. And I think we ought to give all the parents here a big round of applause too for all their support. We appreciate you parents. Thank your teachers. Thank all of those who helped pave the way for you. And lastly, I want to thank you for your hard work and all of this. But again, this is a pat on the back. This is commending. This is honoring you for what you've done. But we don't want to stop here and say, oh, you've accomplished something. You've done good. We're done. No, we want to go out into the world. Bragg, there's a world outside of Bragg Middle School. There's a world outside of Gardendale High School. There's a world outside of the city of Gardendale that we want you to go into making a difference. And we know that you can. And one reason we had it evolve from just Honor Club into Ambassadors is because we wanted to encompass more than just, oh, you made good grades, wonderful. Or more than just a character award. You were great, wonderful. Ambassador has been a club, and for lack of a better term, I would say it this way: you are the total package. Everything, character, academics, a model citizen, an example, everything. And for that, I applaud you. And parents, I think we ought to all applaud our ambassadors. And for our 8th grade ambassadors, the ones who will be helping us do the tapping tonight and all of that, we weren't able to have an assembly of this magnitude last year. I think we had it broadcast live, if I remember correctly, and we were still in the midst of more of the pandemic part of COVID, where we were seeing higher numbers. So we're glad that we can have it in this way tonight. So 8th grade ambassadors, I commend you for the hard work that you've done, and I wish you the best of luck and challenge you to continue down the path that you've gone as you go into Gardendale High School. And I have the privilege tonight, Miss Griffin reached out to Dr. Gonsolin, who is, I know, very busy with I can't even keep up, 57 schools, I believe, in our district, and so much going on. And he came in, bless his heart, he came in right at the beginning of 2020, and he was made superintendent, and bam, COVID hit. So he came in at a very easy time, I would say, as superintendent. But we appreciate him taking time out of his schedule to come here because, as he told Mrs. Griffin, this is important to him. This is something that he's glad to do because this is what we're here about. And so, y'all welcome Dr. Walter Gonsolin today.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. No, I think I think you had it right, my friend. I never quite heard it said like that before, but I have a middle school daughter, and I've been here this evening since 5 o'clock in the parking lot talking to her on the phone because she's having a crisis. And yeah, middle school girls are mean. And middle school boys, they don't take no brain, is what you said? Okay, that's good. I got it figured out. I appreciate that. Everyone, it is my pleasure to be here tonight to speak to you guys and to speak to the honorees tonight and to tell them congratulations and just impart some words of experience and wisdom onto them and also to the parents and the grandparents. When Ms. Griffin first contacted me and I read the email I misread the email. I thought I was just going to be a guest. I didn't know I was going to be the guest speaker, okay? But either way, it was good with me because the real reason why I was so excited to put this on my calendar, it was that I wanted to celebrate these young people on their accomplishments, on their integrity, and their character. And it was something personal to me because if I reflect back on my schooling, that was me in middle school. That was me in elementary school. And if y'all don't mind, therefore, I want to give y'all just a little peek or insight in my life. And so, I grew up in Southwest Louisiana, a place called New Iberia, Louisiana. And it's a place, it buds up to the Tabasco. Anybody like hot sauce in here? Yep. That's where I'm from, where they make it. And so very proud of it. And if you know anything about New Iberia, Southwest Louisiana, they're big on hunting, all types of hunting. Duck hunting, alligator hunting. Y'all saw some of those shows, right? Whatever kind of hunt, frog hunting. And I come from a family of strong men they engaged in every activity possible. Any one of those things, you could catch them doing it, right? But unfortunately, I wasn't one of those people. I wasn't. From a very early age, I didn't like it. I didn't like going hunting. If you gave me anything, and they like to work with their hands, if you gave me anything to work with my hands, if you asked me to bring a screwdriver, I might bring you a hammer, right? But it just wasn't my talent. But I had other types of talents. I love to learn. I love to read. I could excel in school with the books. And, my family, my father's brothers, my uncles, they were determined that every male in our family, we had to know how to duck hunt. Yep, that's some serious stuff. He said it right. We had to know how to gator hunt. I never did it. I'm 53 years old, guys. I wasn't going out there with them gators, okay? But one thing I have to say about my parents, and parents, I'm going to speak to you as well. Very early on, my parents realized I was different, and they respected that. And so the people that we have before us today, I'm sure I don't have to tell you. Sometimes you might look in your homes, parents, and you say, yep, they're just a little different, a little special. That doesn't mean good or bad. We're talking about they're different because they're special. I remember first time I went duck hunting, I was 9 years old, this tall. And nobody taught me how to duck hunt. They just said, come on, we're going duck hunting. And I'm in the water this high. And they gave me a shotgun. Gave a 9-year-old a shotgun. Can you believe that? A 9-year-old. And all the ducks were flying. And I was, I just saw everybody. I was looking to see what everybody else was doing. And so I just took the weapon, put it up. I pulled the trigger. Nobody told me I had to put it up to my shoulder. Man, that thing kicked me so hard, I threw the weapon in the water, right? Started hollering, I thought I had shot myself. I was sure that I had shot myself, right? And then all of a sudden, my uncle he looked to the side as if to say, I don't know how this is going to work out for you. The parents, let me share with you what my father did. I think he should have said it earlier. But all he said, look, before you shoot it, just put it up against your shoulder so it doesn't kick you. And I was like, could he not told me that 10 minutes ago, right? And then, so once I got that down, the next thing I started doing, they were shooting, so I was just shooting all over the place. It wasn't hitting anything, guys. And then finally somebody says, well, you got to shoot where you think the bird's going to fly. I said, man, they are the worst teachers in the world. It's always after the fact, right? But again, my father just took some time and said, aim where you think they're going to go. Just a very subtle comment, right? It wasn't that I did something wrong, but he knew how to handle it, and my mother did as well. And so, young people, very early, I realized that I liked the academics. I liked the books. I liked to read. I liked to excel. When I was in the 6th grade, my father, he was a taxi driver for 33 years. And so I would make him go and get my books during the summer. The books for the next grade coming up, I asked him to go get all my books. Can you say a 12-year-old? Dad, you got to get the books so I could study over the summer. And boy, by the time I was in the 7th and 8th grade, he realized what I was doing. So he would automatically go and do it, respecting who I was, because I was different. Now, one of the things, my father really couldn't understand the academic part of why I loved it so much. But he also realized that it wasn't going to be enough by itself. That I was going to have to know how to love people. I was going to have character. And so one of the things that he taught me very early was I had to watch the people that I surrounded myself with. I had to watch my choices. Now, y'all know what I'm talking about, right, guys? You know, when you're with your friends, you know, you got to be careful, even at an early age, especially now. You got to surround yourself by those people with like interests. You got to surround yourself with those people that understand and respect where you're going and who you are, because you are different and you are special. And, you know, there were times my father was always concerned about, you know, when he wasn't around or when my mother wasn't around, being influenced by someone else. And he'd give me a scapegoat, right? He always tell me, if you ever see yourself in this situation, then this is what you do. If you ever see yourself in this situation, then this is what you do. I thought he was just a preacher that I didn't want to hear anymore sometimes. And parents, I want y'all to get this. Around middle school, it was the first time. My mother would always bring me to school for registration. But something happened around middle school, right? All of a sudden, I wanted her baby sister, my aunt, to bring me. I don't even know why. And so I told my aunt about registration for school that year. I don't know, maybe I thought she was younger. I don't know, closer to my age. And then all of a sudden, you know, when registration came, who did I see? My mama in her Kmart uniform and saying, "What were you trying to do not to tell me when registration was?" Right? Every time I tried to pull away parents from my parents, guess what they would do? They would get closer. They would get closer because they understood at those critical times that I needed them. And if I am telling the truth and being honest about it, I knew I needed them too, and I really didn't want them to get too far. But I had these hormones going on at that time. I wasn't thinking with my brain, right? But every time I tried to distance myself in some way from my parents, especially in secondary, in the middle school and the high school, they gave me my space, but they made sure that I knew that they would always be an influence, that they would always be around. And I challenge the young people that are being honored tonight. I challenge you, you know, Ms. Griffin talked about service. She talked about integrity. She talked about, you know, behaving in such a way that when you don't even know that somebody's watching, there's a certain expectation that you're required to have. An expectation. Because with being different, with being special, comes responsibility. Now, I talked to Ms. Griffin and she told me that you guys asked to be in this particular organization. Am I right? And that shows right there that you have the character to step up when you could be doing something else. To step up and say, I want to be a part of this. I want to be something special. That means there's something within you that you have to fulfill. So I congratulate you on that alone. But now, you know, that's not enough. The principal talked about you being a total package. And so you have to protect that. You have to take all those aspects of your life and you have to let the adults in your life groom you. And I'm talking about your parents. I'm talking about the teachers. And then you have to embrace yourself being this special and different person. There will be those that's going to look at you, that's your peers, And they're going to say, what in the world are you doing? Why do you have to do all of this? You know, when we moved to a new neighborhood, and when I was in the 6th or 7th grade, and it was the summertime, it was the last day of school, and my daddy delivered those books so that I could study, because he knew my request. He didn't wait till I got in the house to give it to me. He gave it to me in front of all my friends. Right? I didn't know anything was wrong with that until one of my friends said, he put me to the side, he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "It's the last day of school. Why do you have a book bag full of books?" And I began to explain it to him. And I'm gonna give y'all a term from Louisiana. He looked at me like a calf looked at a new gate. That means he's like, "What in the world is he talking about?" And so I decided to ask him. I said, "Hey, may I see your report card?" And so he said, "Yeah, of course." And he showed me his report card. Yeah, I had never seen a report card like that before in my life. I had never seen it. I said, surely there was a misprint. No one makes these types of grades and still walking around alive, right? That was my thing. My parents would have killed me. I said, "How did you get away with that?" And he had no idea of what I was talking about, right? And man, as soon as I got home, I started telling my mom about his grades, and she was cooking and listening to me, but not really responding. And when I finished, she said, "Don't you ever try." I said, "Yes, ma'am. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to try that." And the wisest thing that my parents taught me was two things that they told me. One, take this life seriously. Even at this young age, guys. This gift that you have, you got to treasure it. You have to take it seriously. And then two, it's never just for you. It's for you to share with someone else. It's to share to help. It's for service. It's to give back. Now, some of these words might go over your head, but if you don't get anything else, just know that you have been gifted, and now you have a responsibility to use that gift to help someone else and to help humanity. And then you must always put God first. Y'all don't mind me saying that, right? Yeah, I know somebody put in the people that we had stopped praying. That wasn't the truth, okay? But anyway, but I do want to say, young people at this early age, you have to have a spiritual guidance. You have to let God guide you. You have to take this life seriously. And then you have to use your gifts to help someone else. And parents, managing, raising, guiding these very special souls, it can be a hard job sometimes because they're smart, right? Man, they can think. They can think. I listen to my daughter sometimes, and I finally know what my daddy was talking about. I finally understand the look that he would give me. And it was like, what in the world are you talking about? They're gifted people. But they're still young. And we have to hone it. And as much as they try to push you away at this age, just know that it's important for you to stay closer than ever before. To continue to guide them, to continue to give words of wisdom. And even those small things that you think they're not listening to, they're listening. Because like I said, they're smart, and they're smarter than you think they are too. And they understand things. And so, young people, I'm going to close with this. I congratulate you tonight. I appreciate you being a part of Jefferson County Schools because you represent yourself, you represent your family well, you represent Bragg Middle School well, and you represent Jefferson County well. And so I say thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. G. I'm Miss Williams, and along with Miss Griffin, I sponsor the Bragg Ambassadors. And at this time, we actually want to recognize a spectacular group of students, our 2021-2022 Bragg Ambassadors. They have completed a year of service, and they have helped in various school activities. They led the 5th grade tours. They even came up to the school during the summer to help with registration. And they have done all of these activities with excellence. They have let their light shine from their torch. If you didn't know, our ambassador symbol is a torch. And they have been an example of leadership to their peers. May I please have the 2021-2022 Bragg Ambassadors join me on the stage to be recognized. All right, we have Zion Allen, Jackson Attaway, Tanaya Bailey, Sadie Eggy, Jackson Fields, Briar Height, Sutton Howard, Lily Hutto, Elizabeth Keith, Coley McDonald, Tyler McKinstry, Whitley Patterson, Olivia Thornton, and Grace Webb. Can you please give them all a hand? Thank you so much for your year of service, and can you please have a seat? Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to begin the installation and pinning of our new ambassadors. That's our 2022-2023 ambassadors. We're going to have Ms. Griffin and Mr. Robinson pin them. As I call your name, please join us on the stage to receive your medal and to be recognized. Ansley Aguirre. Elliot Barkley. Layla Berry. Brooke Bradley. Mason Buxton. Kinsey Colbert. Isabella Christie. Michael Collins. Our next ambassador could not be with us today, but we're still going to say his name and clap for him. Antoine Cook. Kate Gravitt. Sophia Harrison. Ariana Hill. Maddie Claire Hitchler. Morgan Hovater. Mallory Kemp. Savannah Lehman. Sydney Logan. Olivia Moore. Julia Morgan. Paisley Orzi. Jeremiah Ruffin. Brooklyn Scott. Kira Settle. Tristan Smith. Lauren Stevens. Kaylee Vance. And Layla Webb. Can we please give our ambassadors a big round of applause?
We are so glad that all of you could come and join us and celebrate these kids and their accomplishments tonight. We look forward to watching you grow over this next year, new ambassadors, and get ready because we're going to put you to work. And Miss Perrell will always put you to work. Miss Perrell is all the time emailing me, needing ambassadors. So you will have jobs, and we know that you're going to do a good job and that you will make us proud in this position. We would like to invite all of you into the lobby for refreshments. We have some cake and a few different things for you to join in and fellowship with one another. We just ask that our new inductees stay and come on stage for a picture before you go. But other than that, everyone is released to go enjoy some refreshments in the lobby. Thank you.